Hello again. Hope you found last week interesting, and hope you've had a play with everything that I spoke about last week. So everything I'm talking about is all been part of my healing journey from Lyme disease. I am now. I don't have any symptoms anymore from Lyme disease. If anything comes up, I know it's something in my now moment, because I do feel 100% healed, cured from Lyme disease. And that's just my feelings around it. Other people may have the belief that you just cannot heal from this, and there's nothing wrong with that. We believe what we believe, and that's fine. But for me personally, these are my beliefs, and this is what sits with me. So anything comes up, I know it's what I'm dealing with right now, and my body's giving me a little bit of a message. When you've got something, that there's something untrue in your coming into your resonance, have a little look at it, bring it into your consciousness, have a little look. Sometimes if I'm a really big fan of meditation, so if there's something that I feel like I'm a little bit stuck on and I need an answer to, I'll try and meditate over it. I'll ask the questions. You don't always get the answer straight away, and sometimes you get the answer in the most random way as well. And it can be like a friend will come over and we'll be having a cuppa or something like that, and you'll be talking about something random, and all of a sudden that answer will hit you, and you're like, yeah, thank you, get that now. So sometimes answers come in on the most unusual ways. Okay. Also at the moment, times are changing, even the way we meditate is changing. Meditation as well, there's some misconceptions around it. So sometimes a lot of people say, I can't sit still long enough to meditate. That's fine, go on a walking meditation. Get that out if you can, if your legs will carry you. Get out there on a walking meditation, get that into the countryside to blow off all the Wi-Fi frequencies and mobile phone mass frequencies and everything else that we're kind of subjected to on these days. Get back into nature, and it literally empties that pot. It's just brilliant, if you can manage to do it. If not, if you can manage to slide into somebody's garden, or just your front, anywhere's a bit of grass, just sit, stand, whatever you want to do. Okay, so digressed there, didn't I? I'm very sorry. I must focus. Okay, so it's about meditation. So you don't necessarily have to sit cross-legged or in, or you don't have to meditate in that way. There are many different forms of it. Even just taking the breath, just taking 3 breaths is still a form of meditation in aligning the body and clearing every external thought out of it as well, and just bringing yourself back into alignment, back into yourself, back into your own consciousness, back into your now moment. So you don't have to sit on in, basically. So many of us will be changing as well the way we actually do meditate. So again, look for that. It may not, the way you're currently doing it may not resonate with you. So all this is changing as well. But whatever you are doing, just being quiet, just sitting, turn the TV off a minute, just check in with yourself. How am I feeling? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? Could be a piece of meat stuck from last night, or whatever, if you're a meat eater, by the way, or it could be a piece of broccoli for the veggies. So just check in with yourself. How am I feeling? Just be. Okay, sacral chakra. Getting back onto the topic. Okay. So sacral chakra is involved in relationships, passion, sexuality, fertility and creativity. It's also attached to our self-worth. Now, I didn't know that even self-worth was a thing. And now I realise that self-worth is basically whether I do something, whether I do nothing, whether I'm successful, whether I'm unsuccessful, my self-worth is exactly the same. So if you think about your self-worth as maybe a £10 note, you could tear it in half, you could stick it around the washing machine, you could crumple it up, you could do whatever you want with it. That £10 note is still worth a £10 note. Obviously, if you've torn it in half, you will need to take it to the bank or sell it or whatever, and the bank will still give you £10 back. It's still got all of its value, all of its worth. And this is the same thing about us, about human beings, is that we've got an intrinsic value. And along our journeys, we forget this value of ourselves, and we lose faith in ourselves, we lose trust in ourselves. It's getting back to your self-worth, that basically, I am a being of light, I am a being of love. And that's what I am, and nothing will change that. But it's also the self-worth is reconnecting with our unbroken selves, that before we came onto this planet and we're there kind of like doing our tick list, oh, what shall I experience, abandonment, traumas, yeah, I'll take them all off, because this planet is basically where we come to learn. If we knew everything, we wouldn't be here. So we're all on the same level. Okay? We all come in on the same level, we all go out on the same level, and while we're here, we're just exploring different paths. Okay, and there's no judgment on whatever path we are experiencing. So I try and see it this way. There's no religion that comes into this. I just see it this way, that all energy sources go to one pinnacle point. And I believe this is the source of energy where everything begins and everything ends, and it's infinite. Whether you call this God, creative source energy, whatever name you want to give to it, really don't matter, it's the same thing. And I do believe that all religions in the point in future will probably, hopefully, all worshipping together, because they'll all realise it's all for the same common good and all towards the same thing. We're wishful thinking, don't we? But that's just it. So basically, the creative force energy writes blueprints for beings, for experiences, for journeys, for all things, basically. There are blueprints for everything. So part of our journey is to experience for this energy, because this energy can't experience for itself. So we are beings that are on journeys to experience all aspects of things. So don't judge any part of your journey. We're just explorers for the creative source energy, or God, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you. Take religion out of it, because it's just is. Okay, so back to the sacral chakra. Okay, so this is about relationships. So this is where we express our creativity. So even kind of like making these videos, you know, part of my ego is going, I hope they like it, I hope they like me. And it's kind of like, then the inner guide kind of like kicks in and says, you're making it just because you enjoy making it. You know, whether people like it, buy into it, whatever, it's irrelevant. Whether it's successful, whether it's unsuccessful, it's irrelevant. It's your process of doing it. That's the relevancy. Enjoy the process. Don't feel you have to, want to. Okay, so even, and this goes down to kind of lots of things in our lives. Okay, so parenthood is closely linked with this chakra as well. So it will represent itself in several ways. If it's a little, so this is where we seek validation from others. Okay, with the sacral chakra, whether it's through sexuality, whether it's through love. So this is where your self-worth and your self-love comes into it. So if you are in full recognition of your self-worth, then you won't need that energy from other people, and you can just stand in all your glory, and people will just flock to you. And if they're thinking, I feel like they've got something going on, you know, being around in their energy just feels really, really nice. However, if you are not in your self-worth and you are not loving yourself in all your curves, in all your glory, in all your shadows, in all your light, if you are not doing this, then you'll try to get that energy from others. Basically, you'll try to claw it in any way, which way that you can. And this is all at a subconscious level, so don't judge yourselves. But the energy that other people will pick up from you is kind of like, just back off from this one, because I feel like I'm being sapped of all my energy. So when you are in contact with people, you just think, God, I feel drained. Remind them of their self-worth. Remind them of their light. Remind them that, bring them back to their unbroken selves. See them, and you don't even have to say anything, just see them in their don't see their conditions, don't see their illness, don't see their shadows, just see them in their light as how they are, and your energy will have an impact on their energy. So that's a good trick as well. Just try and see the light, try and see, around it. Okay, so if your sacral chakra is a little bit blocked, you'll be feeling overly emotional. As moms and things, we've all been there, let's face it. We have a fear of pleasure. Interesting. We have poor boundaries. So self-respect boundaries will allow people to walk all over us. Put that goddess barrier up. Don't take no flack, no firing anyone. You don't have to. It's a choice. Okay, and I've spent a long time learning that. Can I tell you? Obsessive attachment. So when we attach ourselves, so I can't live without my husband, I can't live without my kids, life would, I just couldn't, just got go on without them. That is an attachment. So basically it's trying to see that even without these people in it, without my husband, without my kids, who absolutely love to bits and love dearly, I could still live my life without them. It's not that I need them. I like having them in my life. I enjoy them in my life. I don't need them in my life to make me whole. I am already whole. I just choose them. I want them. I like them. I don't need them. So confusion as well. So we'll be feeling a bit frustrated and a little bit confused. Okay, so patterns, so life patterns that are involved in these kind of like limiting beliefs. Cyclic depression every now and again. Investing everything in children. Mums, we all do it to a certain extent, don't we? So, issues around sharing. Life runs by emotions. Addicted to the emotions of love, unable to commit to one partner. Okay, so the belief systems involved in these is, if I suffer, so must others. If somebody leaves me, I am nothing. Without my children, I am nothing. Depression takes over everything. Okay, so again, you can use the finger holds, because some of these beliefs, they are so buried in our subconscious somewhere that they're not in the conscious and we don't realise that they're there. So let's test them. If I suffer, so must others. No, I don't have that one. Okay. If somebody leaves me, I am nothing. Don't have that one. Without my children, I am nothing. Ooh, okay. So I've got a little bit of a limiting belief there on my journey that my children are so much. So that is something that I need to work on in my consciousness. So basically it's kind of like, I am still whole without my children. I am still a whole person, a whole being, even if my children didn't exist. I hate to think about that, but I am still a whole person. With or without my children, I am still a whole person. So that will change my relationship with my children as well a little bit. So it will help me to stop looking for my children for love, needing, I need a hug from my children, or I need their love to be whole. I don't, that's a misconception. It's a limiting belief that basically I need to regenerate the love in myself for myself. So do you know what? I'm going to go away. I'm going to do some little god or goddess rituals, okay? Call it whatever you want, if you're a god or goddess, or however you identify. Rituals, okay? Self-love rituals, let's say. So a soak in the bath, soaking your feet, anything that puts the love back into you. So it's kind of like, I know I've got in my head now that like my daughter's going to college, and it's kind of like I've got in the back of my mind that I need to give her a lift, And that is probably my way of saying, oh, if I give her a lift, then she'll get praise and she'll like me more as a moment. So can you see how some of these limiting beliefs can kind of like come up in your life space? So I need to kind of like pull back and just say, my daughter's whole with or without my lift. I am whole without me giving her a lift or giving her a lift. I am whole either way. So it's bringing this up into the consciousness and just thinking in a different way about it, and this completely changes your relationships. So I'm talking about this and revealing all my shadows as well, kind of like on here, and I am on this journey as much as you. I am learning with you as well. So these are the emotional factors. Oh, there's one more. Depression takes over everything. So do I have the belief of depression takes over everything? No. So for me, that isn't part of my belief system. However, there may be of times where that might have been in my belief system, or it may be coming up in yours. So again, all these are really beautiful things to just have a look at in this shadow work that I've been doing, that I'm doing with you as well. So I'm not sitting here thinking I've got to go because I've got to give my daughter a lift. And by the way, I do have other tops. It's just that I did a roll with these series of videos, so I've done these in the same day. So you will see me in another top eventually, because I can't do everything in one day. So that's it. I do have other clothes. Just in there, I don't know why. Right, guys, enjoy your week. Take that with you. Absolutely love all of you. Be kind to yourselves, don't judge yourselves. Forgive yourselves, thank yourselves, definitely. Recognise your wholeness, recognise your light, recognise your unbroken self. Come back to that. We do spend a lifetime sometimes finding our unbroken selves. It is there. It's just waiting for you to recognise it. It's probably waving at you and flags out and lights and flare gun and everything. It's there. Honestly, it's there. Just faith. All right, guys, take care. Enjoy your week. Speak soon. Next week is about the solar plex chakra and the limiting beliefs around solar plex chakras and how that may present itself in your life. All right, guys, speak to you soon. Bye.